Have you ever questioned the age-old advice that says breakfast is the most important meal of the day? Or wondered why, despite following all the rules, 3 meals, healthy snacks, calorie counting, you still struggle with energy crashes, stubborn weight, and cravings that never seem to quit? At some point, a quiet rebellion has started brewing against the traditional wisdom of constant eating. More and more people are skipping meals not out of necessity, but by choice, and they're not just surviving. They're thriving. They're losing weight, gaining mental clarity, and rediscovering a sense of control over their bodies that they thought was lost forever. This wave of transformation finds its champion in Jen Stevens, whose book Fast, Feast, Repeat has become a beacon for those seeking both scientific guidance and practical tools to reclaim their health. The concept at the heart of this movement is intermittent fasting, a way of eating that challenges everything you thought you knew about food, hunger, and health. To understand why eating less might actually make you healthier, let's first dismantle one of the biggest food myths of our time. For decades, we've been told that eating 3 square meals a day, plus snacks, is the only way to achieve optimal health. Skipping breakfast was branded as a nutritional sin, lunch was a non-negotiable pause to refuel, and dinner was a family ritual never to be missed. The space between meals? Only for snacks. This wasn't always the case. For most of human history, food was scarce. Our ancestors ate when they could, sometimes going days between substantial meals. Our bodies evolved to not just withstand periods without food, but to actually thrive during them. The 3 meals plus snacks paradigm is a modern invention, born out of industrialization, marketing, and convenience rather than biology. Jen Stevens herself was once a believer in this myth. Like many, she spent years battling her weight, trying every diet imaginable, only to face disappointment and frustration at every turn. That was until she stumbled upon intermittent fasting in 2014. What began as an experiment turned into a life-changing revelation. Not only did she lose weight, but she also experienced a mental and physical renaissance. Clearer thinking, stable energy, and a profound sense of freedom from the tyranny of constant hunger and food obsession. But what exactly is intermittent fasting, and how is it different from simply starving yourself? The word fasting often conjures images of self-denial, grumbling stomachs, and iron-willed endurance. But intermittent fasting isn't about deprivation or punishing yourself. It's about timing. You're not cutting out food. You're simply rearranging when you eat. The most common approach is the 16-10-8 method. Fast for 16 hours, with sleep included, and eat during an 8-hour window. Some choose OMAD, or 1 meal a day, preferring to eat all their calories in a single sitting. Others try the 5-2 method, eating normally 5 days a week and restricting calories on 2 non-consecutive days. There's no rigid rule book. The beauty of intermittent fasting lies in its flexibility. You choose the schedule that fits your life, your preferences, and your goals. But why does simply skipping breakfast or delaying your first meal make such a profound difference? The answer lies in what happens behind the scenes, in the intricate chemistry of your cells. When you eat, your body's primary task is to break down food and store energy. This process is regulated by insulin, a hormone that helps shuttle glucose from your bloodstream into your cells. When you're constantly eating, your insulin levels remain elevated, and your body is always in storage mode, tucking away excess calories as fat for a rainy day that never comes. When you stop eating for an extended period, your insulin levels drop. This signals your body to stop storing fat and start burning it for fuel. After about 12 hours of fasting, you begin to use up your glycogen stores, the quick access energy kept in your liver and muscles. Once those stores are depleted, your body shifts into fat-burning mode, a metabolic state known as ketosis. But fat loss is just the beginning. The real magic of intermittent fasting happens at the cellular level, in a process called autophagy. Think of autophagy as your body's own internal recycling program. When you're in a fasted state, typically after 16 to 20 hours without food, your cells start to break down and remove damaged components. This cellular spring cleaning helps protect against aging, lowers your risk of diseases like cancer, and even shields your brain from neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. Autophagy is like hitting the reset button on your health. Instead of constantly processing new food, your body finally has the chance to repair itself. Damaged cells are dismantled, toxins are cleared, and inflammation is reduced. You're not just getting thinner, you're getting healthier from the inside out. It's natural to worry about side effects, especially if skipping a meal leaves you feeling lightheaded or dizzy. But according to Jen Stevens, most healthy adults adapt quickly. Hunger, after all, is largely regulated by hormones, especially one called ghrelin, known as the hunger hormone. At first, you might feel intense hunger at your usual mealtimes, but after a few days or weeks, your body learns to adapt. Hunger comes in waves, and if you ride out the urge for 20 or 30 minutes, it often disappears. It's a powerful lesson in reconnecting with your true hunger signals, distinguishing between genuine need and habit-driven cravings. But the benefits of intermittent fasting reach far beyond the scale. Even if you're not looking to lose weight, fasting can be a powerful tool for longevity and optimal health. Chronic inflammation, the root of many diseases, from heart disease to cancer, is reduced. Insulin sensitivity improves, lowering your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Hormonal balance is restored, with positive effects on everything from testosterone to estrogen to dopamine. Perhaps most surprising is the impact on mental clarity. Many people report feeling more alert, focused, and calm during fasting periods. Without the constant spikes and crashes of blood sugar, your brain operates on a more stable, efficient fuel source. That dreaded 2 p.m. slump, it becomes a thing of the past. So how do you get started without feeling overwhelmed or deprived? Jen Stevens recommends a gentle approach. Don't leap into 24 or 48-hour fasts unless you're an experienced faster. Start with a simple 16-8 schedule, perhaps skipping breakfast and eating your first meal at noon, then finishing dinner by 8 p.m. Do this a few days a week, then gradually expand your fasting window or try different patterns as you become more comfortable. The most important rule of fasting is what Jen calls the clean fast. During your fasting period, stick to plain water, black coffee, or unflavored tea. Even zero-calorie drinks, sugar-free gum, or flavored water can trigger an insulin response and break your fast. The cleaner your fast, the better your results. This simplicity is liberating. No complicated meal plans, no expensive supplements, just a return to the basics. It's also important not to fall into a rut. Just like your muscles adapt to the same workout, your body can become accustomed to a fixed fasting schedule. If you find your progress stalling, mix things up. Alternate between 16 or 8 and OMAD. Try the 5 or 2 approach for a week. Occasionally have a high-calorie up day to reset your metabolism. Flexibility and variation are the keys to long-term success. One of the most powerful lessons from Fast, Feast, Repeat is that fasting isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. Freedom from constant hunger, from obsessing over every calorie, from the guilt and shame that so often accompany eating in the modern world. Instead, you learn to trust your body's natural rhythms, to eat when you're truly hungry, and to stop when you're satisfied. The journey isn't always easy. Social pressures, family routines, and ingrained habits can all make fasting feel challenging at first. But over time, the results speak for themselves. Clothes fit better, energy surges, mood stabilizes. You begin to see food not as an enemy, but as a powerful tool for nourishment and enjoyment. It's important to remember that intermittent fasting isn't a magic bullet. It won't erase the need for nutritious food, regular movement, and restful sleep, but it can help restore a sense of balance and simplicity to your life. Instead of spending your days thinking about what to eat next, you free up mental space for creativity, connection, and living fully. The science supporting intermittent fasting is growing by the year. Clinical studies have shown improvements in cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, and markers of inflammation in those who practice regular fasting. Animal studies suggest potential for increased lifespan and reduced incidence of age-related diseases. While more research is needed, the evidence so far is compelling. If you're worried about missing out on essential nutrients, rest assured. Fasting doesn't mean eating less overall, just less often. When your eating window opens, focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, colorful vegetables, and nourishing carbohydrates. Listen to your body. Eat until you're satisfied, not stuffed. Over time, many fasters find that their cravings for processed foods diminish, replaced by a desire for real, satisfying meals. Fasting can be adapted to almost any lifestyle. Busy professional? Eating within an 8-hour window can simplify your schedule and eliminate the need for constant meal prep. Parent with young kids? Family dinners can remain a central ritual while you simply skip breakfast or delay lunch. Athletes and fitness enthusiasts can tailor their fasting schedule around training, ensuring optimal performance and recovery. Of course, intermittent fasting isn't for everyone. Pregnant or breastfeeding women, children, and those with certain health conditions should consult with a healthcare provider before starting any fasting regimen. But for most healthy adults, the transition is safe and surprisingly smooth. One of the most profound shifts that occurs when you embrace intermittent fasting is a change in your relationship with hunger. Instead of fearing it, you learn to see hunger as a signal, sometimes a true need, sometimes just a passing urge. You discover that you are stronger and more resilient than you ever imagined. You learn to trust your body's wisdom. Fasting also encourages a renewed appreciation for food. When you break your fast, each meal becomes a celebration, a chance to savor flavors, textures, and nourishment. You become more mindful, more present, and more grateful. The lessons from fast, feast, repeat extend beyond the plate. They remind us that health isn't about rigid rules or endless deprivation. It's about finding what works for your unique body, honoring the rhythms of hunger and fullness, and embracing the freedom to live fully. So the next time you hear someone say that skipping a meal is unhealthy, remember, sometimes less really is more. By giving your body regular breaks from eating, you unlock the power of renewal, clarity, and lasting health. You join a quiet revolution, a movement built on science, simplicity, and self-trust. Eating less isn't about punishment. It's about possibility. It's about giving your body the space to heal, to thrive, and to remind you of the strength you already possess. If you're ready to break free from the cycle of endless diets and rediscover the joy of living in a healthy, vibrant body, the lessons from fast, feast, repeat might just be your roadmap to a better, brighter future.